Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, or good day. I'm not really sure what is going on, but I'm getting an error message right now from LinkedIn that's telling me to hang on for a second. They'll try it again in a minute, so it might be an issue with LinkedIn. We'll give it a few seconds before I start, and then I will go ahead and start. Good evening. I should say, I'm so used to doing these in the evening that it's not evening time. It's actually afternoon where I am here in Chicago. I was actually having an issue with LinkedIn, something about signing in. Give me just a second, and I do want to start. It's important that you hear this conversation today, because this conversation today isn't about me, but it's about all of you who have so kindly. Oh, let's try this again. Who have so kindly been with me through and with me and with the C.H.L.M.S Medi-Helpz Foundation throughout this. We're at day 22 now, and we got 7 more days to go. It's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful to be able to share my reflections on what I've learned, which is what I'm hoping you have learned as well, as you have been here for me, paid attention, whether it's looking at the videos as they have happened or looking at the videos later. You have been here for the C.H.L.M.S Medi-Helpz Foundation, and for that I am forever grateful. Once again, please allow me a few moments. I'm not sure if what's going on with my system today has anything to do with the nationwide outage for AT&T, but I'm working on it as quickly as possible to get this taken care of. So please allow me just a moment or two. Okay, so it is looking like I'm situated with both LinkedIn as well as Facebook. So I'm going to go ahead with my conversation for this afternoon. What did I learn? I'm hoping that I learned, just like everyone else, at least one tidbit or more from the conversations that we've had and the discussions that we have had throughout the course of this month. That is what I am hoping has occurred. I know one thing. What I found out, you know what? We have to do this together. Like Sandra L, I love to hear people tell me after the events, hey, you know what? We learned so much information. It was information that we didn't know. How do we get in touch? How do we stay in touch? How do we stay involved? And what I say to you, each of you, is thank you. But without you, and once again, what I said, without you, my board members, the C.H.L.M.S Medi-Helpz Foundation board members, um, you guys, fantastic. I've been fantastically blessed with a husband that I have had for the past close to 30 years. I say to him, thank you, because he's doing a lot of the behind the scenes work where, it's late at night and we're trying to get ready for the next day. And so, to keep me going and to keep my flow going, he's been there supporting me, helping me, making sure that things get pushed out correctly, and so for that, I'm thankful. He's my biggest cheerleader, has always been one of my biggest cheerleaders, my family being the other, and my close friends being the third, have always been my biggest cheerleaders. But this particular month, that I did, I'm like, why don't we have a Black History Month event like all the other cultures? Let's bring this all together. Let me see how I can make this happen. Did I make some missteps? Well, sure I did. It's the first time. I'm supposed to, right? We're not perfect. I followed God's guidance in getting me to the 29 awesome people that said, Sandra, we're with you. Yes, this is something that needs to get done. Yes, let's do this. Without them, where would I be? I mean, so they get just as much, actually more credit than I do, because I 29 days of listening to me talk and ramble and talk about things that I'm passionate about without having that senior subject matter expertise available that I could tap into and say, hey, can you bring that to the people because our people need it? I wouldn't be here without them. These events would not have been successful without them. So once again, that we word, which is all important to me, because you can't do it alone. It's clear. If nobody else has learned anything, I've learned over the past 22 days, and I'm going to continue to learn, or I should say, we are going to continue to learn for the next 7 days, that you can't do anything by yourself and make a sustainable step forward. And perhaps, as I looked at things, and I've always looked at this from the picture and this from the lens of, why is that lens so shattered in so many tiny, tiny pieces? Like, what happens? And we had a speaker on last night, Jay, who actually asked, at the end of her speaking, she asked that question: what would happen? What would happen if we all came together? What would happen if we used that power that all of us have with that all important tool of the voice to make our mark in this world? What would happen if we were to stop looking at things from the lens of the black and white and look at things from the lens of, this is such a diverse nation. We are living in such a diverse world, not just in here in the States, but globally. We look where we are living in such a diversified nation that if we all came together and each of us brought our gift that we've been given, and make no mistakes about it, each of us has a gift. So if each of us brought that gift to the table, used it, and then showed others how to use it, where would we be? So that's what I learned. I learned that, Sandra, you may have some of the answers. Sandra, you may know some things, but there are so many more people out here that think like, along the same lines, not exactly like I'm thinking, but think along the same lines as you do. Imagine asking those people, stepping up and asking those people, hey, I got some knowledge about this, but you're the senior subject matter expert. Can you come on and talk? And blessings upon blessings upon blessings, actually 29 blessings I received. Yes, Sandra, when do you want us? What do you want us to do? What time? What do we need to do? What are our topics? They came to me and said, because we believe that, yes, we need to do this. We believe that this has been too long where we haven't had a program of this magnitude surfacing on social media for us. And when I say us, I belong to 3 communities, as I often say. But the one community that I was birthed into that will never, ever leave me is that of being an African American woman. I just said 2 communities, but really, being African American, I'm that. I am what my ancestors wanted such a long time ago, but they couldn't get it. They couldn't do it. They were stopped at every point. They were stopped at every time that they, wanted to challenge the system. they couldn't challenge the system, when they wanted to bring up those wrongs that were happening to them so that the world could see, not just a community, not just a city or a state, so that the world could look at it and say, that's really horrible. I mean, we got some glimpses from media. They've left some stories behind, but the one story that they would, I believe, if they were here, that they would tell us is to use the powers that be to make sure that you're making a sustainable push towards health equity and health equality. And for those of you that think health equality is a political term, please do your homework and looking up what exactly is health equality. It's a word that needs to be put into that DEI conversation that has been taken out because the powers that be surrounded it with a political term. It is not political. It was never designed to be political. It got lost in the sauce, but we need to bring it back. And throughout the conversations that we've had over the past 22 days, what I have learned is we need to bring it back. They've, in various different ways, they've moved and they've talked and they've shaken that equality word into what it is. However, once again, it's lost in the sauce. It shouldn't be. I mean, health equality belongs in the same sentence as health injustices. No difference. I mean, when I look at it, I see no difference. When I hear my speakers speak, well, I'm going to say my speakers, when I hear the speakers speak, and when I hear them, continue to put out the information that they put out, the one thing that I hear consistently is that health injustice. Consistently is that health equality. They're painting a picture that we all should know. Not just the African Americans, because yes, this is our month, Black History, or as I say, Black Health in History Month. It's for us, yes. But so is it for everyone else that interacts with us. So is it for everyone else that countrywide, nationwide, on a global level that deals with the African American patient. And I have to bring this out. The patient is just not the patient getting the services. The patient is the patient's, family, friends, and one more important piece that has actually been covered over the past 22 days, and once again, is going to continue to be spoken about in the remaining 7 days, is this. And our providers. Our providers, I want everyone to know this, are important to making this, making the push for everybody to have the same access to the best health outcomes. Don't talk to me about better health outcomes. I'm not happy with better health outcomes, especially for the underserved, the under-resourced, the vulnerable patient. I'm not happy with better health outcomes. The disabled, all of which I fit into, I'm not happy with better health outcomes. I want the best. There's no reason why we can't, if we work this together, as we've repeatedly heard over the past 22 days, if we continue to work together, just imagine if you can close your eyes and imagine what this world will be like. What this world will be like. And let me let it be known that what we at C.H.L.M.S Medi-Helpz Foundation, especially I as a founder, want people to know is that we know we can't reach everybody. Right? We know that there are people that will say, I'm not sick, I'm too young, I'm not sick. We know that. But we keep our eyes on the prize and we keep our eyes on the pulse of the community, because we know this. When COVID and her family moved in, set up shop, they didn't care where you went to school. They didn't care what kind of car you drove, what community you was in, how old you were. It did not matter. It came and it wiped our community, especially our African American community. It wiped us clean. We lost so many lives. And unfortunately, we lost those lives about something that we heard from a couple of days ago from one of our speakers, Barbara Gaynor, when she addressed this. And I so often address it as well, is this: those underlying conditions, those conditions that are family, your genetics, your family. If you don't know your family history, where are you going to wind up at, right? Where? When you go to the doctor and they give you the wrong medication, or it is a pandemic or another endemic, because one's coming. One is definitely coming. So don't think we out of the woods, because we really are not out of the woods, right? One is coming. What happens when you drop that person off at the doctor or the hospital and they tell you, sorry, you can't come in, only this person can come in? Do you have a medical binder, as we heard earlier in this conversation? Early in this event, do you have access to a system such as the HINT system, which allows you to keep your information in the cloud? Do we have that? Do you have that? Are you ready? Are you prepared? The answer resoundingly, as I talk to patients and I try to get this information to patients, is no, we don't. So what do? Those of us that are healthcare heroes and healthcare professionals that care about the community and want to do community work, such as Darlene Fabry Christie, who came on a couple of days ago, if we all band together and use all of those resources and all of those gifts and touch all of those communities that we should be touching, wow. It's all I have to say is wow. So while I take, responsibility for being putting this together and being the person that, did a lot of the leg work and a lot of behind the scenes work, once again, I couldn't do it without the 29 people who graciously didn't say, Sandra, okay, well, how much you paying me? And then when I told them, well, our organization really doesn't have the funding right now to pay anyone, graciously said, we know what you're doing. We love your mission. We're there. Like I said it earlier, what time, what day, it all came together. A lot of things happened behind the scenes that people did not understand. One of those things that happened behind the scenes that people didn't understand, that I'm taking the time to actually address now, is one. I could have had it, like the whole program, put it out months ago. My mom was sick. She passed away in December. I was sick. I had been back and forth to the doctor's office with my own health challenges. I, from day one, stated, we're not paying anyone to talk, and I want everyone to have the spotlight on them on their day. So instead of doing what I know is right, which is to actually, put out the information a week ahead or a month ahead or whatever, what I decided to do was create individual posts for my speakers. Give those posts, after they was actually looked at and approved, reviewed and approved, give those posts to the speakers and say, that's your day, your followers, put the information out there. We'll put the information out the day before, so that that person that's talking on, say, day 22 has day 22 all to themselves. The spotlight is on them. The message isn't being lost because the only person that's speaking is that person whose date that is. So that's what we decided to do. And I've done it. I'm not sorry that I did it that way, especially with everything that I was actually going through already. I'm not sorry I did it that way. What I would like to see going forward into 2025, anyone or any organization could approach me. And then you really don't even have to approach me, but I'm asking for the approach for one reason, because collaboration is key. Collaboration is key, right? So approach me, say, hey, Sandra, you know what? We're interested in doing this with you in 2025. You take some of that ownership and 1 week is your week, 1 week is my week. However, we split it up. It's split up so that everything isn't falling back on one person. Because it's 2024. How long has social media been around, and why has it a program of this magnitude? Why has a program of this magnitude not been done before? I'm not sure, right? But it hurt our community. It hurts our community because so many times I'm approached by patients in our community that want to know, well, Sandra, how come you telling me all of this? Or where's the programs at? And nobody's here to help me. And, I hear it a lot. It's unfortunate, but I hear it a lot. So it let me know that we need something like this. I learned that we need this program. We need to continue to grow through this program. We need to take a step back. I'm going to take a step back. February 29th will be the last event for the Black History Month. I'm going to step back for a day. I tell everyone that has, and all my board members know, March 1st is me and my husband's day. So March 1st, I won't be doing anything. I will be resting and relaxing and taking in all the blessings and all the love that I have been shown throughout this month, that God has shown me. You are doing my work, so you're going to be successful, but you've earned that day to just breathe, right? So I'm going to breathe. March 1st is breathe day for Sandra. But March 2nd, we're right back at it again. It will not be a month-long event, but March is Women's Health Month, another community that I am a part of. So March, we will be doing another event. It will be all month, but it won't be every day during the month. So it will be more, it'll be the same, but we deserve it. That's what I learned. I learned we deserve programs like this. We deserve to have C.H.L.M.S Medi-Helpz Foundation viable for the community to grow, whether it is growing in person or whether it's growing hybrid. We deserve this. We deserve it. Our ancestors told us we deserve this. Our ancestors put, like I said earlier, they put everything that they could possibly put into us. They put it into us. They blessed us with the forethought to actually carry forward with what we need to do. Now, the stakeholders, all of the stakeholders are important to the growth of the African American community. That was evident. Once again, that's something else I learned. I already knew it, but I wanted to push it so that everybody else would know it, right? So we got stakeholders, we got patients and their families, which is important. They don't know a lot of the resources, a lot of options. They have absolutely little or no knowledge of all the beautiful items and beautiful products and beautiful services that are available to us, via the Black African American healthcare market. Like, we have people doing things every day, all day long, that bring health into our community, that do healthy things into our community. Our patients don't know it. Their families don't know it. They got a glimpse of it during this month. They'll continue to get a glimpse of it. Anybody wants to actually, access to our, month-long events has access to it. All you got to do, call me, or send me a DM, send me a message through Facebook, through LinkedIn, and say, Sandra, can we have access to the link for day 2, day 3, day 4? All you got to do is ask. We are making them free of charge to you so that you can share them with your community. Because what I didn't know is that, while we touched a lot of people, there's a lot more people that need to be touched. There's a lot more people that need to know that there are resources available for them, whether they get them online, whether they get them in the city or state where they live in. There are resources available to them. They need to know that. We telling them a little bit, but hey, if you help them by showing them a link or showing them a video of something that's talking about what they're going through, they'll be helped even more. And that's what this program was designed to be. This event was designed to be. So that's the patient. Now, patient doesn't just mean the patient that's sick or the patient that has been challenged. The patient means that internal network, which is the patient's loved ones, family, whoever it is that's supporting that patient. You need to have it. Get them the information. They don't know. My goal in starting this event series throughout February was to at least walk away with one person telling me they've been touched. And that goal was met over and over and over and over again. At least 22 times was that goal met. Where one person would call me or send me a DM and say, thanks, Sandra, for sharing this information. We needed to hear it. We needed to know it. Whether it came at them in soft waves or whether it came at them like, look, y'all need to do da 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 da. The information was invaluable. And I've been told that the information was invaluable. The other stakeholders, the providers want to care. They do care. Problem is, they've actually, for a lot of them, they've actually signed on to these contracts, right? The healthcare is no longer a health thing. Healthcare is now a business. So the providers have signed on to these contracts, which tells them what they can and what they can't do a lot of times. Patients don't understand that, but we're bringing it to them so they once again, in bite-sized pieces, so that they can understand and they can see why it's important for them to go to the doctor and have everything they need to have written down. Why it's important for them to know that the providers care, they really do care, but their contracts say they cannot do X, Y, Z, and thus they cannot do it. So this is what we need to do. So pulling those two parts together over this past 22 days has been tremendously important to me. Before I close out, I do want to go ahead and I want to individually thank the following people for agreeing to work with C.H.L.M.S Medi-Helpz Foundation. If there was a day where there was a technical issue, I certainly apologize. I can't control technical things that happen. There was one day that I was all set to go, and right before we went, the system went down. I can't do anything about that. I offer you my apologies because it happened while you were with the C.H.L.M.S Medi-Helpz Foundation, and I appreciate your understanding. But please know from my heart, I was just as devastated as you were when we had these technical issues. The issue with the person impersonating me, that just showed me that what we are doing as a foundation is excellent and it needs to be repeated, but it needs to be repeated right. So I thank whoever did it for trying to impersonate me. I give you credit for trying to impersonate me, but come on now, grow up and let's get on with business. Let us help our community who needs to be helped. And so I'm going to go ahead and read these names of all 20. I'm going to do all 29 because I want to give everybody justice. So I'm going to do all 29 people that said yes when they and answered that call that I put out to actually work with us during this month. So we have Jessica Adams, who was our day one speaker. She spoke to us about the importance of our young people understanding their insurance. Plenty of them will be on their own, whether they're turning 18 and they're on Medicaid, or 18 on Medicaid, you become an adult and you need to understand your insurance, or 26 when you actually get taken off of your parents' insurance if they're working. She told us all about understanding the health insurance, and that's information we definitely need to know. Rosa Antonini, Zero Sum Game of You Defined. That was February 2nd. She spoke about her programs and how her programs are helping those in Africa, in certain parts of Africa, and that program is continuing to grow. She told us about those programs and how we each can help those programs. and she's looking to grow. So if you know someone that can help Miss Rosa, please outreach. You could outreach me, or you can find her on LinkedIn or Instagram. She's really good on both, but her chosen social media platform is Instagram. Reach out to her and talk to her and let her know how, say, how can I help you in any small way? But please ask, because our children, once again, this health issue is a global health issue. It's not a state issue. It's not a city issue. It's a global issue. Renee Patterson came to us with 78. That's great. She taught us about the importance of knowing that many of us, especially in the African American community, they've literally kind of counted us out by the age of 70. Y'all ain't gonna be here no more. Like, y'all are just this thing. Y'all are extinct at 70. So let's try to push it to 78. Her program, which she offers through her Hints Corporation, it has an on cloud, I should say, system that help you, navigate your healthcare and keep track of your healthcare on the cloud. Highly recommended to you. When I wrote my journal, which is the health planner and journal, I had plenty of people that asked me, well, Sandra, can we get this online? Well, while the first version wasn't available online, I'm glad to share that space with Renee Patterson and her company, because guess what? When we work together and we collaborate together to bring these products on board and make them available to our community, we all win. We all have the best health outcomes. Sir Royce Briles, he spoke to us about welcome to fatherhood. Dads, granddads, uncles, what his program offers, and he's located here he's in Illinois, in the city of Chicago. What his program offers on a national level is remarkable, right? This is the thing. Don't think that C.H.L.M.S Medi-Helpz Foundation forgot about you, men, because we're looking in June, while we will be in the city doing hybrid Juneteenth programs throughout the city. Each Saturday in June is our next big event. We will be nationwide, but we will be, because we will have a videographer on the system with us, so that the programs can go out. But June is also Men's Health Month. So if you're a man and you have a health, anything dealing with health, and you want to share it, please let us know and say, hey, Sandra, I'm available. Let me know so that I can get you in, get you set up, so that we can actually put you out there in June, because men, we need you. And we need you to take care of your health. And we need for you to be able to share your health concerns, so that we can get you the help that you need to have. So thank you so much. Sheree Reed, she told us all about MRIs and what we need to know when we go in to have an MRI performed. She taught us all about, what kind of clothing we should wear, why we should wear it, how it hurts us if we don't have that correct clothing on, what we shouldn't be bringing to the hospital or to the MRI center when we go to have an MRI done. She taught us all about that. And once again, that issue isn't a Black issue or an African American issue. That issue is we all need to know these things. With her, Dr. Salawat, she talked to us about preventative care. How can you stop a train from coming if you don't stop it to get on? Right? I mean, really. How can you stop your health condition or your health challenges from spiraling out of control if you don't do what you should be doing to prevent those things from happening? How are you going to stop it? What do you need to do? What are the things that you need to know? She taught us all about it in preventative care. We have medical binders. Deirdre Kendrick, once again, here's a product that you can use that helps you keep track of your health history, your family health history. It's a binder. It's not big. It's very, very light to carry, but you need to have it. And not only do you need to have it, you need to use it. And not only do you need to have it and need to use it, but you also need to have it, use it, and share it with your loved ones. So should you find yourself unable to talk and being health challenged health-wise, somebody else could do it for you. So I thank you. Coach Pat, she talked about her clinical trial participation, what it meant for her to be a clinical trial participant, why she chose to become a clinical trial participant. I often am asked, how do we get the African American community involved in clinical trials? We've tried, but we ran into a dead end, right? I'm glad to say that I'm seeing more and more information being put on LinkedIn in reference to having clinical trial participation and getting an audience of African Americans to participate. I'm glad to see that's happening on LinkedIn. I would love to see more of it on Facebook, maybe on TikTok. And if you're there already, please get back to us and let us know where we can find you at so that we can send patients when they're asking or looking. We can send them to your websites or to your TikToks or Facebooks or whatever you have in order to keep their attention. We have Bianca Dickerson Williams, who came to us. She told us about maternal health. She made it real. She brought her personal patient lived experience and she made it known over and over and over again. I don't care how much money you make, what your degree is in, where you work at, anything of that. You're Black. You are Black. That answers the question a lot of times that's raised. How come this happened to me? You're Black. We don't care if you are a movie star or you make, you're a pro sports player or whatever. We don't care. You're Black. So we're going to treat you any kind of way we want to be able to treat you because we think we're going to get away with it sometimes. And sometimes it's just, they just didn't know. But the overall arching message was, we're Black. Take ownership of that. Live that proud. Wear that proud. But make sure others, especially when you're getting medical care, make sure they realize that you're Black, you're proud, and you're not someone that can be walked over. So thank you for that, Bianca. Shonda Spades, awesome, awesome, awesome program for tech in our children, especially in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. Please reach out to her. See how you can get in touch. See what volunteers she needs, what kind of services our children need. Our children are our future. And if we don't work with our children, what's going to happen with our future if we don't put into their future? So she has an awesome tech and music program that I highly suggest that everyone takes a look at the video that she has done. And I highly encourage everyone to reach out to her to say, how can I help? Where can I make my donations? Let's get it done. Thank you, Shonda, very, very much. Sarah Fazan came to us and talked to us about Ida Community Garden. We can make our own food. We actually, literally, we should be. Do I? No. I'm going to start learning how to do it, but right now I don't. But the importance of learning all about how to do your food, make your food, that was important. And so for that, I'd say thank you, Sarah, for bringing your information. We had UN Peace Ambassador, Dr. Angela Neely. I asked her to speak to us on environment and peace because environment is one of those social determinants of health factors that continues to populate every 10 years. Why does it populate and how does it help or hurt our families and our communities? What's happening there? That topic was also once again retouched upon last night because we lose sight of how the environment we live in contributes to our negative health outcomes. So we listened to Dr. Neely as she explained to us why we shouldn't just can take that information and not listen to it or not pay attention to it. So for that, Professor Dr. Neely, I am so very, very thankful. Dr. Joseph, I'm not even going to try to pronounce your name, Dr. Joseph, but you'll hear this video and you'll know who I'm talking about from the SDIG group. He came and told us about diversity. Listen here, y'all. If y'all haven't heard it, let me repeat what he said. That made a whole lot of sense to me. Why is it that we have these diversity officers who really can't tell us what we should be doing when it comes down to diversity. Because nobody understands what diversity is. Absolutely nobody. So they're given these jobs and they're given these titles and they absolutely have no idea what diversity is. And they should. They really should, especially when it comes to our community. So maybe you should challenge the next person that says that they work in diversity and ask them to give you the definition of diversity and see what they answer it. Thank you, Dr. Joseph, for your help. Carolyn Coleman, this is my rock in the dark corner, who has, every time I've had a room or I've had a room or I've gotten off the call and I've been, kind of down because we had a tech issue or this happened, that happened, the other happened. I can either call her or she'll call me and she'll say, let's pray about it. And that prayer brings me a great sense of relief. So, Carolyn, I appreciate you. I love you. As I told you, we met through a virtual book fair and we become stuck at the hip and we're going to continue to be stuck at the hip. So I certainly appreciate all the work that you have put into this program. Talea Dindi, the cancer doula. If you or anyone you know has cancer, you need to reach out to Talea. She doesn't have all the answers, but once again, she brought her personal, patient, lived experience to her video and to her speaking engagement. She is highly recommended if you or your loved one has cancer. She's a cancer doula. Not sure what a cancer doula is? Sandra, can you send me the link to Talea? Because I want to know what a cancer doula is. That's all you have to do, and I will make sure you get it. But until then, she's on LinkedIn. Reach out to her and let her tell you what a cancer doula is. But she's there for you to actually use her resources. Thank you so much, Talea, for your help. Barbara Gaynor came to us and told us all about the importance of you knowing not only your personal health, but your family health. The journal that I wrote 2 years ago, it covers personal and family health. Me and my husband went to see Bob Marley, One Love, this weekend. Bob Marley's doctor asked him when he was diagnosed with cancer about his family history. He asked him. I don't know who saw the movie, who hasn't seen it, but pay close attention. He asked him then, and this was years ago, right? What about your family history? He couldn't answer. The only thing he could say was that his father was white. He couldn't answer anything else. It's important for you to know these things because then you'll have an idea of what possibly could happen to you in the future, right? You'll have that. You'll know that. You'll have that information. So please, I want you to buy my journal. I want you to buy Deirdre's booklet. I want you to go on and get Renee, sign in and get Renee's information. I want you to do whatever you got to do to make sure you know not only your personal health history, but your family health history. Bring it, bring it, bring it. When you go to the doctor's office, make sure you put that information somewhere where your family can get a hold of it. What I learned then, and as well as what I learned from watching Bob Marley this weekend, is that issue of family and health history is not new. It's not new. It's not new. It's once again one of them things that have been secretly hidden away from us because they didn't want us to know. The powers that be didn't want us to know the importance of us having our family health history just as much as our personal health history. You got it free. You got the information free. You want to hear Barbara's story? Please let me know. Thank you, Barbara Gaynor, for joining us for that very, very hard and very, very real conversation that we had. Michelle Presley, she came to us. She talked to us about multiple sclerosis. She once again gave us a lived experience. And she's doing some wonderful things, in honor of her mother with the children here in Chicago and the young adults here in Chicago. Awesome. She could have stopped, but she didn't. She's giving freely, right? She's another one that could be helped. And that you need to hear and that you need to know. Dr. Ann Maria Hester. We just heard from her last Sunday. She gave us information on gut health. She gave us information on, making sure you know certain things. And, she really put the patient world, which was her topic. It's a topic that you need to hear. It's so many gems that she dropped during that Sunday, during that Sunday room. There's so many gems that she dropped to us. It's really unbelievable what she did and how she did it. And once again, her link is free. You want to listen? You want to know what she talked about? Drop me a note. We now have, and then we had, after her, we actually had Miss Lisa Coleman. Lisa is one of our board members. She stepped up at the last minute, at the 19th hour, and delivered an awesome conversation on vision care for African Americans. She brought the Lions Club information. She's a member of the Lions Club. She brought that Lions Club information and shared it. And when I say the 19th hour, she stepped up at the 19th hour. So for those of you that have nonprofits or are thinking about having a nonprofit, make sure that your board members are supportive of what you do. Not only are they supportive, but they stand behind you and they stand with you and what you're doing, so that if one day you can't do it, they could step in and do it. Lisa Coleman, thank you. The next person that we had was Darlene Boyd. Another patient experience, and cardiovascular health was her topic, and she told us all about how she did what she had to do to actually appreciate and actually show her husband the love that she had with him. She stood up, became a board certified patient advocate. I should say a Black board certified patient advocate. She learned what she had to learn or to do what she had to do in order to make sure that her husband continued to live a very fruitful and blessed life. You want to know more? Check out the link and call, let me know. Sandra, I would like to have that link from her or for her so that I can get it to you. Now, yesterday we had Jay Palmer, who I just spoke about a little while ago, who gave us a topic, talked about a topic. She talked about this topic in such a way that if you are a provider, if you are a facility and you need someone to actually address the issue of culturally competent care, you need to reach out to her. And you need to do so because she's coming at it. She's covering you, but she's also bringing the patient's voice there. What better combination can you get than to have that available to you and to your people? And to making sure that whatever program you put in place, it becomes a sustainable program. So once again, her link also available. Want to know more about it? Please let me know. Then we have coming up this week, we'll be talking about diabetes. We'll be talking about women after the storm. We'll be talking about mental health with the male community. We'll be talking about clinical trials. We'll be talking about what we need to know as African Americans. We hear this word come up all the time: medical debt. What is medical debt? How do your billing that you're receiving at home, do you understand it? Are you paying it? Or are you just letting it sit there? What do you do with your billing and coding problems? We'll be addressing that. And then finally, we're going to take a look at what's ahead for the African American community for the remainder of 2024. And we may even hear something about the remainder in the upcoming years of what we should be paying close attention to, what's happening in our community. So once again, we have 7 days of dynamic learning to continue on. But I needed to stop for today, and I actually needed to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And I also want to give a big shout out to Miss Tiffany Matthews. We were supposed to be able to link up this month for this Black History Month event. The channels crisscross, and we just didn't get it together as we should have. But I appreciate you. I want you to know that I stand in your corner and I support the mission that you are on. And with that being said, thank you, thank you, thank you. And for those of you that are putting comments in reference to the work once again, we couldn't do it without you. We really, really, really couldn't do it without you. And I just forgot, and I want to mention this as well. There were people that stood in the gap for me to allow me to continue to do the build out the Black History Month event, but stood in a gap for me to cover me for other issues that I was undergoing at the time. They stood in a gap. I have to mention them. That's Miss Judy Jordan, Miss Judith Jordan. That is Dr. Tanya Farron. That is Miss Heidi Wild. You guys know what I'm thanking you for, so I'm not going to come out and say it. But without you, a lot of the things that I want to do, be able to do for our community in the near future, it wouldn't be happen. It wouldn't happen. So stay tuned, everyone. Join us in March when we actually begin the first program in March for International Women's Month. Will be on March 2nd. So thank you so much. And hopefully I'll be able to talk to you later. I'll respond to your comments a little later. But please know that I appreciate you. And because I appreciate you, the C.H.L.M.S Medi-Helpz Foundation appreciates you as well. Have a great day.